Frank Ntilikina tonight, Très bien.
Yo, Trey, what the hell? Yo, I was going ham.
Take note.
Big Beach. We're here.
My man, Alan Houston.
It's different this time, but it sounds like you're rich in town.
This is a great loss. Only real Knicks fans understand.
Only real Knicks fans understand why we're so happy about this game. I was getting text messages throughout the game, and people saying, "Oh, sorry for your Knicks loss," or "Oh, your team's not doing so well." And I'm like, "No, this is great. I don't care. I don't care that they're getting blown out. I care that the young guys are playing, getting their minutes, getting their experience, and it's called tanking and development."
Let's just talk about this game. Horrible start. Actually, not a horrible start. Let me backtrack. They actually kind of started fairly well. I think it was like 27-24.
I think Frank is the one that didn't have a great start. Frank kind of came. Frank started, well, not started, but I mean, he was in the first half of the game, but he really didn't start playing like a different person till the third quarter. That's
we played. When Frank came in, he was really bad on both ends. Tony Parker was doing whatever he wanted. Tony Parker was beating Frank with foot speed, but beating Mitch with craftiness around the rim. You see Mitch, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to block this guy." Yep, but Tony Parker's so smart, he faked. Great. What a legend, NBA Hall of Famer. But Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina, the stories of tonight. Kevin Knox was great. Frank is going to be the story because we haven't seen this from him, and we'll get to Frank. But
and
let's talk about
he
Kevin.
hit his career high.
And his career high. But let's talk about Kevin Knox. Because
fine.
What I'm seeing with Kevin, I want to ask you about this, is so he got injured. He had a good game against Brooklyn, then got injured. Had a couple iffy games, and you've seen games where he's not engaged. Now tonight he was going against Miles Bridges, and this is interesting
in the draft with him, right?
Exactly, because the Knicks were really rumored to be taking one of the Bridges, especially Miles. And I know that Perry and Mills had them go one-on-one in practice. And it was when Knox beat Bridges in practice, I guess he beat him pretty badly, is when you saw all the reports shift to Kevin Knox. So I think he took this game a bit personally, but 26 points,
15 rebounds tonight. Yeah. So that was great. And he is scoring. He's playing with a lot of confidence. I know that he spoke with Bernard King, and they had their little meeting. And I know that Fizz has been doing that with some of these older guys, getting them to come and speak to these rookies and maybe give them some of that New York confidence. But he is playing, with a lot of confidence, and I feel very happy about that. It's the Summer League Knox again.
Summer League Knox.
What I do want to see, though, another 10, 15 games in, is he going to keep this up consistently? Yeah. Now, 26 points is a lot. So that's great. If he can give us 26 points, that's amazing. I don't think he's going to give us 26 points consistently, but if he can give us 15 to 20, that's golden. That's golden.
That's the next step for him. He's definitely not going to average 26. If he did that, then he'd be like LeBron.
Right.
Speaking of, Kevin Knox and LeBron James are the only rookies ever to have 26 points and 15 rebounds in a game, which is really interesting.
Okay.
But these stats, you can pick do whatever you want.
You can choose the ones that make it sound good.
Yeah, but on Kevin Knox, I think what we're seeing is that he's getting comfortable. He's getting to the rim. He's hitting his shots. He still can't finish. He still gets to the rim and kind of doesn't know what he's doing. But his body frame is something I'm interested in, because Giannis was way smaller than Kevin Knox when he came into the league. Kevin Knox, even though he's 19, you could see his legs. You speak about his legs, got to get a little bit stronger.
Right, what I was going to say, so he has that. His upper body strength seems fine.
Yeah,
I think it's the legs that need to be more in control so that he can be steady, if you will.
Yep.
And once he gets that down, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm so glad with him as our pick.
And it was great to see. So what's great about tonight is you had Frank was what? Frank was number 8. Knox was number 9 in back-to-back years, and both of them tonight. And not just did they play well. First of all, they played well 2 nights in a row, because they played well last night in that fourth quarter against Brooklyn. Frank and Knox both played well, and today both of them have a good game again. To me, this is exactly what you want to see.
Into a ball hog climb.
The man himself. What fire that third quarter, man. He started the game pretty badly. I was a little bit worried for him. He comes out in that third quarter, and we saw a Frank that we genuinely have not seen before. We saw him against Brooklyn early in the season do that 7 points in a row when he was like, let's go. And you saw it again tonight. But this was a different level up.
Who was the guy he pushed over?
Oh,
who made that layup?
Zeller, I think.
Loved it. It was like that's the aggression that we want to see from him.
Oh,
Once
yeah.
that aggression, and then even after that, even when he's doing well and he knows he's doing well and he's scored, his energy, his like celebratory energy, is great. It's great for the team. I loved it.
He looked really comfortable. He hit a couple shots and you saw him moving. He had a nice move in the first half around the back when he hit the shot. In the third quarter, sorry. But he just started getting into a flow. You could see he was feeling good. He was trying different things. He tried a no-look lob pass to Mitch. But he was in that flow, and I think that's what Fizz wants to see.
I'm really pissed he got fouled out, though, because
he can't help himself right now.
I would have liked to have seen... So he played 18 minutes, 18 points.
I think 20 minutes, 18 points. But
18 points. Close enough. But so I really would have been interested to... It would have been interesting to see how he would have played those last few minutes, last 9 minutes or whatever.
Right, exactly. That's one of the things is that the new NBA rules just do not work for his kind of defense. And he got called for some BS, man. That one you just brought up, the offensive foul with the shoulder. Giannis Antetokounmpo does that every single game. And you know what happens? The refs say, oh, man, that dude's strong. Ooh, go Giannis. And Frank
doesn't get that respect.
He doesn't at all.
Because he's French. We already know this. He doesn't get the respect because he's French. Looking at this team, I'm kind of like, you know what? I don't mind if we get rid of Timmy.
Ooh, hot takes. I love it.
I don't mind if we get rid of, well, I know Courtney Lee's going. Yeah. I don't mind if we get rid of Hazonia.
Yep.
I don't mind if we get rid of Trey Burke. And now I like Trey Burke, but I think he has a much better opportunity to be a good piece and make some real money and be not a star, but be like a really good player on another team.
Exactly.
So I'm fine to just let all these young guys play, guys who we know are going to be staying with us, guys who we know we're going to be signing Trier hopefully on the 15th, right?
Yeah, a couple more days. So we got to see that. We're going to do a vlog about that.
I'm fine with letting all of these young guys just play what we call play themselves.
Play themselves out, right?
Play yourself, as they say in Trinity. Play yourself.
One thing I really like to see is last couple of nights we saw this Frank, Dotson, Knox, Mitchell on the court at the same time, which is excellent to see. Now, I think Fizz is actually doing a great job of this. I've criticized him at times, and it's been a back and forth, but obviously they have a bigger picture, and it's looking at times like they're really executing it. Because the Chicago Bulls, I'll give you an example. They've been tanking hard, like real tanking. I think they lost like 50-something points last night to the Celtics.
Yes, yes, I heard that. I heard that on my drive home after the game.
But today, the players didn't want to go to practice. They had a group text where they're saying they're not going to practice today.
Oh, damn.
They fired their coach last week. So right now, it's a dumpster fire in Chicago. And you look at right now, I think they're definitely one of the top 3 seeds in terms of the draft.
Right.
But if you put Zion Williamson there in this environment,
right, no good.
You can ruin those guys, and you got to get that balance, right? What I do hope is that the Knicks at some point do commit to the younger guys, especially in terms of clearing up minutes for Frank and Knox, even though Knox has been getting his minutes recently. But like you said, those guys kind of have to leave, in my opinion. Maybe not Timmy so much, but Timmy's a whole different situation. But they do need to clear some minutes, because I think really, if you're just really talking about development, Frank needs to be the backup point guard. I will admit, I think Moutier has earned it to start for the season. Now, if Frank starts outplaying him, that's a different story. But as of right now, as a former hardcore Moutier hater, I'm totally fine with Emmanuel Moutier.
With him starting.
Because you know what I see, and we spoke about this, he's smooth when he's out there. I think he gets guys in their position. He still makes some dumb plays, but I think it's good for Frank too to learn from Moutier. So I think in terms of how Moutier plays, I think Moutier and Frank both do different things well. We spoke about
they could both learn a little bit from each other, actually.
Yep, exactly.
Where Frank can learn to be, because however, in tonight's game, I didn't see Frank stop and hesitate as much as he did in even last night's game. Like last night's game, I saw him catch the ball and he was kind of like, okay, who should I hand it to next? Whereas tonight, I kind of saw it flow, from the third quarter on, a lot more, which is what Moutier does. Moutier just keeps it moving. But I think, though, is that he knows he can score, right? So even if he misses the first 2, I don't think he's not going to try to score anymore. I think he knows he can score. I think once you get the confidence on the garden floor or whatever floor you're playing on the court, in a game that you could actually score, then you know you can score. So you're not going to all of a sudden give up because your first 3 didn't go in.
And that's what I want to see, because I don't believe that yet. Because I've seen him have games before where because most of the games, we speak about this all the time. When Frank hits the first shot,
then he's good.
Right? These 2 games have been encouraging, of course, and he came out in the second half and looked really good. But I do need to see this over a longer period of time to really believe he's really over that hump. And this is a hump I think he's definitely going to pass in his career. I don't think this is an indictment on his career so far, like his long-term career. I think as of the player he is right now, I think a game like tonight is huge for that. Because I think what's great about tonight is he missed his first couple of shots. And he did not play well at all. Actually, I don't know if there are many games where Frank started bad and got good. And that's
so this might be one of the first ones then.
This might be the first game. And in the comments below, let us know if we're wrong. But I actually think this is the first game where Frank started like horribly. Like tonight after halftime, it looked like one of those 0 nights for Frank.
Right.
It really did. And then it was a complete 180.
What happened at halftime?
Finished? Great speech and all, Doc. You had him riveted. But didn't you forget something?
What?
Your secret stuff.
Who gave him a pep talk at halftime? Let me tell you something. Yeah. I know we're talking about Frank, but Fizdale getting thrown off the court, I think actually shows his players how much he cares about them, and Frank, and obviously Frank specifically. So I think that has to kind of make you feel like, oh wow, like he's like in my corner, on my side. He's sticking up for me.
He is. I tweeted this. Is that Fizdale? That was an excellent use of an ejection because first of all, getting blown out.
Right.
We played last night.
Right. So it doesn't matter.
Blown out at home.
Right.
You're timid or whatever. Point guard, you're trying to figure out, has his first big game, showing emotion, going ham, throwing that punch in the air like Allen Houston in '99. Everything we want to see. It's a perfect game to basically let that slide. Let Frank know.
And to show that emotion.
Yeah. Fizdale, I think Fizdale knew what he was doing because he saw Frank get at least 1 or 2 really tacky fouls, and I knew it was bothering him. But I think as much as it bothered him, if it was a tight game, he was never getting thrown out.
Right.
He knew, you know what? Because I think what Fizdale's doing, and this is so interesting because we're going to have to wait till the end of the season to really see if this happened. But we've spoken a lot about Frank's mindset and how he's this weird enigma type of player. Young guys come into the league, they usually are very reckless, they play selfish, they don't play defense. Frank comes into the league, he's almost too cautious, he plays defense, he doesn't want to shoot, he wants to pass the ball. So how you develop him might be a little bit different how you develop another guy. Like Knox look at Knox. Knox looks like your typical good NBA, not that good like he's great, but good in terms of offensive guy, NBA rookie who wants to come in and shoot and get his points and play good basketball.
Right.
Frank is not, he's a different mindset. Fizdale almost needed to kind of hurt him a little bit, right? Bench him, keep him out of there, right? And then bring him in and challenge him. And then, even with that, maybe Frank needs to see Fizdale getting thrown out. Maybe another rookie.
I think Fizdale's playing like excellent mind games with these guys.
Right. That's what I think.
He's getting into their psyche to get them to, because the game of basketball is also a mental game. Yes, you have the physical ability, and yes, you have the long arms, and yes, you're going to have the speed and the agility and all that stuff, and the aggression, and whatever else. But there's a huge part of it that is a mental game.
100%.
What you just spoke about, throwing up the ball and not scoring, but still knowing that, okay, I got to keep throwing the ball up. I got to still be aggressive. I got to still move like this. So I think that Fizz understands some of that, and he's getting into their head and playing some of this mental game with them. Him having those guys all sit out those games.
Yep.
It was Trey, it was Dotson, and now Frank.
Even Hazonia.
And they all came back and played great games.
Well, maybe not Hazonia.
Well, yeah. Well,
he did dunk on Giannis. But he did dunk on Giannis. Get No, you mentioned it 100%. I think you hit it on the head. Fizdale has been, I think he's developing as a coach as well. So he's learning what works and what doesn't. I think early, Fizdale was like, Frank played well in preseason, I'm going to start him at small forward. I think Fizdale's been trying to figure Frank out too. So Fizdale starts him at small forward. He does okay, nothing special. Puts him at point guard, starts off really well, starts doing badly, benches him, now he's back. So I think what Fizz is really trying to do is figure out Frank, and I think he's getting closer to it. Figuring out how to push the right buttons on Frank so you get him aggressive, but not that you limit him as a player where he gets like down in the dumps. And I think he's getting there. So it's exciting to see as the season goes on.
I think Fizz is developing the entire team that way. I think he's actually it's only 15 guys in all, right? And we have to lose a couple anyway. I think that he is forming personal relationships with each one of these guys because obviously each person needs different motivation.
Right.
And the motivation that Trey Burke is going to need is not the motivation that Frank needs. The motivation that Moutier needs is not what Frank needs, or Dotson, or Hardaway. So I think that to me, it seems like Fizz is really developing as a coach himself.
Right.
And learning to know each of his players and know what each of them need and want to succeed on the court.
Exactly.
I mean, really feel he's taking the time to do that.
Yeah, and people forget, this is his second season coaching. He's in year 2 like Frank. He coached in Memphis and he got fired, and now he's in New York. Like, he's obviously...
And that was probably great for him, you know.
Oh, he needed it. He spoke about it too. He said it helped him be a coach, kind of really think about what he was doing. But he's been in the NBA a long time, but he's still a very young coach in terms of his real NBA experience. So everyone's growing together. This is really good to see. Great loss. Zion's on the way. But all in all, exciting night. Great to see from Frank. Now he's got to do consistently. We got 2 days off, Monday and Tuesday.
And Wednesday we play who? The Bulls?
Cleveland, I think.
Oh, Cleveland. Yes, Cleveland. It is Cleveland.
Who are horrible. So at this point, actually, if you look at the next 6 games, you have a lot of winnable games. So we've lost 4 in a row.
And we're on the road for the next 3 games.
We're on the road, yeah. But I think
we're playing Charlotte again too.
Playing Charlotte again too.
Yeah.
But I think we want to see a better effort there. But I think over the next 6 games, you could win about 3 of them, maybe even more, because we're playing some like the real tanking teams.
Okay.
We're playing the Hawks and the Suns, who are like 1 and 2 in the lottery standings right now. So we have some winnable games. Also with Frank, which would be great to see, because his offense is the one we're most interested in, just because.
Right. So let's see what happens in the next couple of games.
Exactly, because if he can now come against some weaker teams and just kind of start hitting it, then maybe he'll get that next level of confidence where he can do it more and more, even against better teams. So great night.
Yeah. This is like a win for me. It's so funny. I'm like, oh, the Knicks lost, but no, they won it. In my eyes, they won tonight.
You know what's crazy? Last point about this. This is the game that probably stops all the trade rumors completely.
Oh, stops them.
Because him having this game would definitely make... Because even though we've spoken about Perry and Mills maybe not being all in on Frank, they're also not stupid. If they see a guy like this getting better, they're going to be a bit more cautious about anything they do. And also, these rumors never involved the Knicks per se.
Right, it was Frank's agent and so on.
I think there's more going on.
They also made a comment about Frank, about seeing Frank and KP playing together.
Yes.
Because that's going to be like beautiful to see the two of them on the court together and see them play off each other.
It's huge. Their games make sense and they fit together. They were one of the best defensive teams in the league. Because
you said it before.
Yeah.
Phil had a plan. Phil had a plan. You said it on Nick of Time, not Nick of, on Nick of Time show.
Yep.
Phil had a plan.
He had a plan. So we'll see, but great win. Obviously, we're fan fans. We're happy, but
we're great win.
I said great win. Great win for Team Rookie. But this is who we want to see, man. Dotson, Frank, Knox, Trier, the guys that we know are going to be here long term, that we have control over. Seeing them have games,
let them play. Yep.
That's what the year is for. So all in all,
tanking and developing.
It's like we're tanking and spanking, to give a Walt.
Oh, the Walt Frazier quote: tanking and spanking.
All right, guys. That's it. Peace.